And viewers, getting into our conversations this morning, I am being joined on set by the Assistant Secretary in the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development, and that is Mr. Joel Notsi Sampson. Good morning, welcome to you.
Good morning, Kandace.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm blessed and highly favored.
All right, so yesterday we heard a few announcements, a few changes to the salaries of URP workers. So first of all, tell me the genesis of how this change came about.
Well, when we got into office and I was mandated by the Chief Secretary to deal with URP, I quickly got down to work back then and I saw the wage package, I saw all what was happening there. And I decided to make some changes, which we did back in 2022. And that the remuneration package would almost increase immediately, but the other benefits will come into effect 1 year down, which was the 14th of July, 2023. So they took effect from that date. So, since that proclamation, I did not give an update. So yesterday we just sought to bring some clarity to that because there are some underlying issues where that is concerned. But when something is new and you're trying to work it out, it's never smooth at start, but eventually we'll get to where we want to. So persons now have been enjoying their vacation leave. At one time, a lot of persons took leave at the same time because it's unfair to be working for 10, 15 years without vacation. That's slavery, and we have gone beyond that. So I looked at that, this caring administration looked at that, and we decided that these things must be implemented and the workers are now enjoying these benefits.
So along with vacation leave, we heard of maternity leave. What about sick days, casual days?
Sick leave, casual leave, bereavement leave as well. So it's the full 9 yards. So they're now enjoying these benefits like every other regular worker.
Now we know that this increase in salary for the workers is good for them, but it's also going to be an increased cost on the division. How are you working it out at a time where we know that funding is a challenge?
Well, Kandace, there's no pressure where that is concerned because it's been going on for over a year and something now the increase has taken effect. And the goodly Chief Secretary, who is also the Secretary at the Division of Finance, has been finding means and ways to get it done because we believe that hardworking staff deserve better, and you can't have in 2022, 2023 persons working for $79 a day. When you go to the grocery, $79 can't really do anything. So this increase represents a welcome to them. It's it's given them a boost. They have been working extra hard. They are motivated, and if needs be, and if we see we can do something again in the future, in the near future, we would.
Are there any challenges when it comes to timely payments for these workers?
Well, Kandace, late payments is something we have met at the division. We have been trying to rectify that. There are always challenges, there are always issues, Some things are left better unsaid. But we as an administration are trying to work out all these schemes and plans so that going forward, workers would be paid on time, so there would be no issue of late payments.
What are the issues that you all are facing when it comes to paying workers on time?
Well, sometimes sheets may come in late. Sometimes there are issues with the system. These computerized systems, there are hiccups and stuff like that. Sometimes the ACH, if you're not at FCB Bank, you would not be paid immediately. But if you're at credit unions and other banks, it may take a day or two, depending on where your salaries are assigned to, which is understandable.
All right, and but what's the communication like though with the workers when these things are happening? Because so many times we hear the news or we see postings on social media of people complaining that their salaries are late. Sometimes it could be several fortnights, whatever the case may be, and it seems as though they are not aware of what's happening or what's causing the delay, or even when they can expect their salaries.
Well, down at URP, Kandace, we try to communicate with our workers as often as possible. The director tries to communicate with the supervisors who will get the information passed on to the workers so they will at least have an idea of what is taking place or when they can expect their salaries. But we try to communicate and try to work out these issues fast enough so that the delays are not as long as they used to be. So in recent times, you would have seen that you have the complaints are getting less and less because we are working out all these kinks to ensure that we don't encounter these problems that we have been faced with.
And also, is there a system for the calculation of the salaries and so on, the accounting mechanisms for it to be a little bit more streamlined? I'm talking here about perhaps an online system. Are those things being worked out in the background?
Those things are being worked out in the background, you know. So in the meantime, we still have the whole process of the sheets and then you input into the system and stuff like that. So yeah, but these things are being worked out. So in the very near future, you know.
Well, yes, we are definitely hoping that there's no longer those complaints about late payments. But in the meantime, URP has been doing quite a lot of work. I want to start with particularly the woodworking side of URP. We're seeing a lot of those workers there building a lot of wonderful furniture and so on going up for sale. Tell me about that part of the URP program.
Well, that's the furniture workshop. You know, that's one of our monetary units where persons can come in and order items. And we've seen, as I spoke about yesterday, the collaboration with agriculture. We also have the collaboration with the Division of Education, where we would provide school furniture and supplies for different primary schools and the ECC schools. You know, and the furniture workshop has been doing exceptional work. Kudos to the workers there, the hard-working workers who give their all each and every day to ensure that we deliver quality product across the island. We have the casket making now, which is a big hit. You know, you can get an affordable casket at a price that is less than the general suppliers of casket across the island. And soon we will have a catalog rolled out. So persons can now go on this catalog. We'll probably have it online so you can make your order and you just come down, make your payments and collect your items.
So how much revenue is this bringing in for URP?
Well, there's no fixed revenue. It fluctuates because some months are better than some. You know, our business operates in this kind of capacity. So it generally fluctuates, but business has been good, revenue has been coming in and it's streamlined pretty well.
And then, of course, as you mentioned, agriculture, there's a woman in URP doing some good things when it comes to agriculture and so on, and a few different sections. So give me an idea of what is all being done when it comes to the agriculture part.
Well, with the agriculture part, we have the small ruminant project. There's also the cocoa revitalization project. There's the Kendall greenhouse project. So in terms of the small ruminant project, this is something that is being worked out currently with the Secretary of Agriculture. She would come on the program sometime soon and she will elaborate more on that. But it's basically, you know, it's like breeding of the animals and giving to the small farmers. But you have to be organized. You have to have all your ducks in a row. And there's also a training in place. So once you go through this training, you will be certified and then you will become a business partner with the Division of Agriculture because, you know, we campaign heavily on the public-private partnership. So that is something that is being worked out and that will be rolled out soon. The Secretary would come and give more information on that. In terms of the greenhouse and the Kendall Farm School, we have been empowering our females at URP where this is concerned, you know, so that they can earn the agricultural skills, after the construction of these greenhouses, you know, they will gain valuable training in short crop and cultivation. So, you know, we are empowering them so that they can become self-sustainable and that they can help themselves more than just the dependency.
All right. Well, we're going to go for a quick break, but viewers don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, we are continuing our conversation this morning with the Assistant Secretary in the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development, and that is Joel Nutsi Sampson. And of course, we were talking about URP because URP falls under his portfolio. And can you just give me an idea of because we touch on the agriculture part of things, the woodworking. I'm not sure if we touch on the concrete part. I know there is some concrete. So that's
the Blemen concrete workshop. So
right.
We deal with all the concrete stuff. So, you know, you have your pots, you have your concrete benches, concrete tables, anything that you wish to have in concrete. We have the magical technicians there that could create these items for you.
I like how you describe them, the magical technicians.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that these are URP workers who, did not always have the best view in society, but we're now finding ways to uplift them.
Yeah, and that is very important. Once our employees are motivated, they are uplifted, they would produce at the highest standard, they feel more welcome within society now, because if you realize everything is URP now. So we are forming partnerships with various divisions. We have done some work with community development and sport, with education, with agriculture. And that's the kind of partnerships that was mentioned by the Chief Secretary, the interdivision partnerships, working together makes better for the island of Tobago. As they say, teamwork makes the dream work. So,
Yes.
we are there to collaborate with whatever division needs that collaboration to see how we can realize this dream of making Tobago the greatest little island on the planet.
And then what about in terms of graduating people from the URP program? Because it was always meant to be a temporary assistance for persons who found themselves unemployed. Is it that we are continuing to keep workers within that program, or is there a system where they can graduate themselves out and be able to, be on their own?
All right. So when I was saying the earlies, I mentioned about the change in the org chart, and we have that planned out. We're still in the finalization stages of touching it up and working it out now, where we'd have the training part, the training aspect. So we'd create various units. So after you get trained, you get certified, there will be units assisting to help you build out your business. Probably we'll have some conversations with the chief and with all the business development units as to how we can assist these persons after they create their business so that they can gain some funding. So, we just kind of wean them off the program. You're not just weaning them off where they would be left in the open, but you're ensuring that they are set up and their business are off and running, and then, we can wean them off and then bring on a new set. So, you have the process continuing. Because once you have a trained society, a certified society, we always having construction going on, we always having different things happening. So persons can, branch off and do their own thing than just sit down and depend on the government. So you can be your own boss. And it is good to empower persons to be their own boss. In such, they can employ somebody. So, we take some of the stress off of the THE.
Certainly, and we're looking forward to see any timeline as to when that can happen.
Well, we're hoping that we could have it rolled out before the end of this year, but we are working feverishly towards that goal. So once that is rolled out, I'll be glad to come back and share all the details with you.
Certainly. Now, you're not just the assistant secretary in that division, but you're also the area representative for Crown Point, one called Crown Point. I know you have something interesting planned coming up. What's coming up for you guys?
All right. So next weekend, as the 5th to the 7th of April, we have the 3rd annual edition of the Not Say Fast 5. It has become a big hit. It has become a household name now. Persons look forward to it because when they see me, they say, "Not say, when is the next event?" So Not Say Fast 5, you can look forward to that the 5th to the 7th of April, where we have the cricket competition, football and netball. And it's all fast 5. Everything is 5 minutes. The cricket is 5 overs. And there are lots of attractive prizes and giveaways on that day. And you can register by calling 3680533 or 3784396. So, get your teams registered, come out. It's something that's we have brought back, to foster that community spirit that was once synonymous with us. So the community looks forward to coming out, to a weekend of fun and activity. And it drives the island because a lot of persons from across the space are engaged. We have teams from as far as Charlottesville.
Nice.
That have participated before, and it's a big thing. It's something that we can run with, and it's not just limited to North East District alone. Other persons can come get the ideas, how it is run, how it is set up, and we can run with it. Because, where sports is concerned, it brings harmony, there's unity, and communities come together. And that's the kind of Tobago we once knew, and that's the kind of Tobago I would like to see again. So I continue to do my part where I can. Also, just after the Not Say Fast 5, I will have another edition of the Open Arms. So Open Arms has become a big thing as well, where we distribute food, agricultural produce, soft clothing, books, vouchers, and stuff like that to persons in need. And I just don't limit it to my district. There is the Open Arms Open Day, so persons from all across Tobago can come in, and then there is times when it's just a Downscale one where it's just for the district, but I try my best to do my part in ensuring that Tobagonians get the help that they deserve.
Now we know also Crown Point is the heart of the tourism industry in a sense, because of course you're very close to some of the most popular sites around the island, and it's where especially a lot of our domestic tourists gather. What's been the conversation like with the business owners and so on to make sure that we are offering our visitors a good experience when they are here?
Well, the last conversation I had with the business owners, the main concern really was, the cleanliness of the environment. We have some issues recently that we are trying to work out that we will address in short time. There are some foul stenches emanating from time to time, not very often or not every day, but there is something we are looking into and to try to rectify this problem. Once this is rectified, all is well. Other than that, business is booming, the nightlife is good, persons enjoy being in Crown Point because the activation center is the hub of everything, everything is right there, so persons will go to the reef during the day. So they board at Store Bay, Pigeon Point Entrance in Pigeon Point. They have different activities during the day while they are here, and then there's the nightlife, which is very important. That stretch, as we call the avenue now, it's very popular. It's a worldwide name now. So we continue to do what is necessary. We continue to keep meetings. Recently, I was sent an invitation to a town hall meeting where the police and fire would come together. I think that's going to be held on the 9th of April. So I'll be there in attendance, so we could continue the discussions of how we could further drive the economy in Crown Point and how we could keep it safe, green, clean, and serene so that we can continue to encourage visitors to the island.
Yes, and and as you mentioned, the safety aspect of things, because that was going to be my next point in terms of crime, because we've unfortunately had a few incidents in that area where some serious gun-related crime has been concerned. And what is being done from your standpoint to address some of those issues that are popping up, crime-related?
Well, recently I have had a meeting with the inspector at the Crown Point Police Station and some other law enforcement officials as it relates to crime and some of the business owners and how we can curb the crime and things that we can come up with. So these conversations will continue. We will have increased patrols so that persons can feel some level of comfort and security. Also within periods where it's busy, like the Easter weekend, we may have some plainclothes officers out within and amongst the patrons so that, you would not know who these persons are, but they are there to ensure the safety of patrons, and we continue to do what we can. We've seen the upsurge in crime. It's not something that we appreciate, it's not something that we are happy about, but we are doing our best on our side to collaborate with those who are in charge to deal with these situations.
And then, of course, what about what's in place for this weekend? Because we know we have many visitors here in Tobago. It's Easter weekend here in Tobago, and naturally they will converge in Crown Point. So are there any special things that are in place just to make sure everything is being kept safe and so on?
Well, as I said before, we will have regular patrols. So you'll see officers patrolling the streets of Crown Point very often throughout this weekend, during the day, during the night, to ensure the safety of everyone that visits the island. I'm also appealing to the persons that will come out on this weekend. When you go out, you just try to have safe, enjoyable fun. You leave home, you are going out to have a good time. You're not going out for violence, or you're not going out with the intention of creating problems. So all those who have knives and illegal weapons, leave those things at home. Get rid of them, as a matter of fact, because we don't want to encourage that in the Tobago space. The Tobago space that we once knew was full of love and unity and harmony. You would go out, enjoy yourselves together. You may meet someone you don't even know, and you make a new friend at the end of the night. So let's encourage that for this weekend. Meet persons, greet, enjoy, have fun, and be safe.
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much, Mr. Sampson, for being on with us and for just giving us some insights into URP and what's going on in Crown Point. I know we have some things to treat with, but we're looking forward to see how that does happen over the next months and next year or so.
So not a problem, Candace. As I say, as things develop further and things roll out, I would be back to give you updates. You can always call me. You know, you always come by in the district and we sit down and have discussions about how we go forward. So I'm always pleased to be here.
All right, great. And thank you so much. And viewers, don't go anywhere. We have more coming up for you after this break.
It's a brand new morning, rise up.